All right, so now let's go ahead and build out the profile component. So for me to do that, I just want to be here so that I can look at what we have here as like an example. I will come here first to this guy and let's begin. So what I'll do here is I'll first bring in the custom hook that redirects a logged out user, and remember that's use redirect logged out user. So just bring that in, and I'll say that if the user is logged out, I want to redirect them back to the login page. So that's how we start. Then next, I'm going to create a state. So use state, and that state I'll call profile. All right, so set profile is going to be capitalized. Okay, next let's make this profile. Initially I'll set it to null, no value initially. Okay, then let's import the use state. Then also I'm going to create a loading state. So here I'll just say, let's use the use state snippet, and I'll just say is loading, and then let's capitalize the second is, and initially I'll set it to false. Great. Now we're going to have a use effects that will dispatch the action to get the user. So first off, let me bring in my use dispatch. So here I'm just going to say, maybe I'll just put it below this guy. I'll just say dispatch, so const dispatch, and that's going to point to our use dispatch like so. And then let's make sure, okay, so it has imported as well. Great. Dispatch. Great. Now let's go ahead and create a use effect that will fetch the user data. So I'll open this up like this, and let's add our dependency array. So basically, what do we want to do? First off, before we do anything, immediately this use effect is called, I'm going to set is loading to true. So we're going to have the loading whatever. Then I'll create an asynchronous function inside here. So I'll say async, and the name of that function, so function, and I'll call this function get user profile, or get user data. Seems now let's open this function. Great. Now basically in this function I just want to say const, and I'll say data, that's going to be equal to await get user, and the get user is coming from our auth services. So you see I'm also auto importing it as well. So just call that function. Now it's going to get the user and save the user data in this data variable. So you know what I can do? I can just do a console.log of the data variable. So data. Okay. So after I do that, there are some things I want to do. First off, I will set profile to the data, which is what is coming from our backend, data about that user. Then I'll set its loading to false, back to false. What else? I'll save the username. I'll save the user in the what's it called, Redux. So for us to do that, I'll need to remind you. So let me just search for that. It's slice, it's auth slice. So come here. So I'll scroll up. So you see the pieces of state we have in our auth slice is logged in state, the name of the user, and the user object that contains everything about the user. So the name, email, phone, bio, photo. And let's just make sure we also exported this user. So let me come down here. Did we select user? So we did export the user. So now I'm going to save this user. I need to be in the profile. So I'm going to save the user. So here I'll just say dispatch, and what's the action? The name of the action is save underscore user. and of course we need to auto import it. So I'll try and auto import it. Oh, I don't think I exported it. So let me check again. Auth slice, and this is it, save user or set user, sorry about that. So let me change it here to set user, and now I think I should be able to auto import it. Aha, so you see that's coming from our auth slice. So just click there to auto import it, and then you need to specify the data you want to save in that user action. So here I'm just going to pass the data that I got from this my operation here to fetch that data. All right, then lastly I also want to set the name of the user. So I'm just going to duplicate this guy, and then I'll say set name, and then it's just going to be data dot name, which is the username. Let's import this one as well. Aha, then for our use effect, we're just going to add the dependency here, which is the dispatch. So dispatch. So that's about it to execute the function to get the user data. Now that we've written out this function, what we need to do now is we need to call the function just below this guy here. So I'll just call the function and it will fire off once. So I'll go ahead and save, and then let's just come to our inspect our console and see whether we're able to fetch the user data. So I'm not sure if this, okay, let me just open one of this array. Okay, so let me close this up first, and then I'm just going to refresh this profile page so that use effect to fire off again. Okay, and I've refreshed the profile page, but sadly I'm not getting anything in my console. So let me check it and just be sure. So this is the profile page, and get user data. Okay, you know what, when this use effect fires, let me just do something. Let me just log something to the console, because it looks like it's not even, oh okay, so I'm getting an error here. Cannot read property of undefined reading name at set user. Okay, auth slice. Oh okay, so you know what I'll do, let me just, first off I'll just log something to the console here. So log, and here I'll just say getting user. All right, so then I will just comment out all of this for now. So comment it out, and then I'll save. So technically what I just want to do is get the user data and then just log it. So getting user. Aha, so I get an error here. Oh, so you see I'm getting the error here that I'm not authorized, I should please log in. So that's what I need to do. I think maybe my session expired. I think I logged in sometime this time yesterday. So let me quickly log in. So I'll just go back to the home page, and then I'm just going to log in. So I also think my internet even disconnected. I don't know what happened, but let me just inspect again. And then I'll just come to the profile page. Let me clear all of this. Come to the profile page, and then I'll click on profile. Aha, so you see we get the first thing we log to the console, and then we also got the data about that user. All right, so let's come here, and then I'll just close this off. So now I can then go ahead and fire off this remaining function, and that will be just fine. So anyway, just to make sure that I've gotten the user first, I can just add an await in front of these two before I set the data. So I'll just say await, and then that will just make sure that at least I've gotten my user first before I set the data to the Redux. Okay, so that's about it. Now let me go ahead and save this guy, and now we can go ahead and get started writing out the JSX for our form, which we're going to do in the next video. See you there.